It was warm and sunny, just after lunchtime when the divers waded into Coniston Water. The surface of the lake was machined steel. It was as near perfect conditions as you could imagine. The three men wore black neoprene wetsuits and breathing tanks strapped to their backs. Gently, silently, they disappeared into the embrace of the lake. Coniston Water is 5 miles long and roughly a mile wide. It is Cumbria's third largest lake by volume, after Windermere and Ullswater, the fifth largest by area. Peering down across the lake's western shore is the Old Man of Coniston, one of the fabled Lake District peaks. The pretty village of Coniston is a half-mile stroll to the northwest. Brantwood, the home of 19th-century writer and philosopher John Ruskin, sits contemplatively on the eastern shore of the lake. The divers went into the water at Bailiff Wood, on the eastern edge of the lake, an area dense with woodland. This has always been a popular dive site, safe for qualified divers of all levels. Pike, char and trout dart in and around long-forgotten detritus scattered on the lake bed, fallen from passing boats. A bath, a toilet, garden gnomes. The lake is popular too with kayakers and canoeists, and there is a mandatory 10 miles per hour speed limit in force for all watercraft. Yet it is for a world water speed record attempt that Coniston is anchored in the popular imagination. In January 1967, Donald Campbell was killed when his boat Bluebird turned a catastrophic cartwheel across the lake after touching 300 miles per hour. The three divers were members of the amateur Kendall and Lakes Sub-Aqua Club. Their names were David Mason, John Walsh and David Walker. They enjoyed diving in search of interesting objects lost on the lake bed, such as old boat motors. They knew this part of Coniston well, but the over-familiarity had today prompted them to venture deeper into the cold belly of the lake. The prospect was exhilarating. It was also a little unnerving. They set a dive depth of 25 metres and pushed on. It is incredibly murky and dark below the surface of Coniston. Visibility can be under 2 metres, and divers are lost without a torch. On this day, they could see up to 6 metres in front of them. They swam out around 7 yards from the shore, going deeper and deeper to a depth of about 15 metres, when they reached what looked like an underwater cliff running steeply down to a silty bank. They followed this line, down, down, until they came within metres of a ledge overhanging the deepest and darkest part of the lake. Beyond this point was uncertainty, a drop into utter blackness and the bottom of the lake 50 metres below. The divers ventured no further as something caught their eye. They were 16 minutes into their dive. Out of the murk they had seen something that startled them. The criss-crossing beams of their torches fell on an unexpected object lying 5 metres or so from the lip of the ledge. It was an eerie sight. They would later speak of a feeling of creeping apprehension. Mason made a note of their depth using his diving watch. They were roughly 24 metres below the surface. At first he thought the object might be a rock, but as he swam closer he reckoned it was a bag of some sort, perhaps a sail bag. One end was tied up by a draw cord. The bag was very tightly packed and trussed up with 2 ropes. He wondered if there might be an old motor inside or an inflatable dinghy, something that had fallen off a passing boat overhead.